Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots, your guide to making sense of the news that actually matters. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. It is Monday, December 22, 2025.
And today we have three pretty critical shifts to break down, spanning from the AI hardware war all the way to a really major tragedy in the gaming world.
Good to be here. And before we jump into those massive stories, let's just, set the stage. If you're in California with us, you are probably dealing with this atmospheric river event.
Oh, yeah. Heavy rain, flood warnings.
Exactly. And a ton of snow up in the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
It's a huge contrast to the plains, which are, believe it or not, seeing record warmth and even some fire weather concerns.
Nature is definitely not in equilibrium right now. But on the financial side, things actually felt pretty steady today.
They did, especially given all the volatility we've seen. The markets had a quiet, sort of positive bounce.
Right. The Dow closed up about 150 points.
Yep, keeping us well above that 48,000 mark.
Yeah.
The S&P 500 finished slightly positive, too.
And Bitcoin.
Bitcoin also held strong. It's maintained at high altitude pricing near 88,500. I think the message is that investors are just watching and waiting for the next big thing.
And we might have found that next big thing in our first story. But first, a quick word for anyone scrambling for last-minute holiday gifts.
Definitely.
Our sponsor, Old Glory, is an iconic music and sports fan merch store. It's great stuff for your techie friends who also love their teams or their tunes.
Good combo.
And if you use promo code SNARFUL at checkout, you get 15% off your entire purchase. Just find them at oldglory.com. All right, let's get right into our core analysis, the Morningstar report. We are starting with Google.
Yes, Google finally mounting a serious hardware-driven challenge to Nvidia and OpenAI.
Which is such a turnaround. I mean, if you remember late 2022, the whole story was Google issuing a code red.
They were caught completely flat-footed by ChatGPT. But now it looks like they aren't just playing catch-up. They're really leveraging their vertical integration to, actively compete for the top spot.
And you can see it in the model's performance. Their new Gemini 3 AI model, which they rolled out just last month, is now topping key benchmark leaderboards.
Right, we're talking about tasks like text generation, advanced image editing,
and complex image processing. It's actually surpassing rivals like ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude in those specific areas.
The signal here is loud. I mean, we heard Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff call the leap insane.
He said it felt like the world just changed again.
But the strongest sign came from the competitors themselves. Both Nvidia and OpenAI's Sam Altman publicly congratulated Google on X.
That's not just being polite.
No, that's recognition. That's them saying, okay, the threat is real.
But the real story here, the differentiator, it isn't just the software. It's the metal, right? It's Google's custom hardware.
The Tensor Processing Units, the TPUs. That is the absolute linchpin of their strategy.
Explain that a little.
Okay, so Nvidia dominates the market because their GPUs, their graphics processing units, are general purpose. They're powerful. They're broadly applicable. That's what drove their massive 52% year-over-year sales growth.
Right.
Google's TPUs, on the other hand, are custom-made ASICs. That's application-specific integrated circuits.
So application-specific means they're designed just for Google's internal massive-scale AI and machine learning tasks. Is that right?
Precisely. They're designed for what they call narrower workloads. But because Google designs the chips, the software, and the cloud services they run on, they achieve this incredible vertical integration and cost efficiency.
That's a huge competitive advantage.
A massive one. And we're already seeing others respond. Anthropic is expanding its use of Google tech, and Meta is reportedly in talks to buy Google's Tensor chips.
Everyone's looking for an off-ramp from Nvidia dominance.
Exactly.
I wonder, though, does this quest for AI supremacy lead Google into what we call the innovator's dilemma, where the thing you need to do to survive actually cannibalizes your core business?
It absolutely does. I mean, Google's multi-billion-dollar business is search.
Which is funded by ad revenue from people clicking links.
Right. And now, to stay competitive, they're aggressively pushing these AI overviews in an AI mode into search. They're trying to make it feel more like a conversation.
Which is convenient for me as a user. I get the answer instantly. But if the answer is right there on the Google page, I don't need to click away to the publisher's website. So what happens to the ecosystem that supplies that content?
they get starved of traffic.
Yep.
And we're already seeing the numbers on this. A Pew Research study showed that when an AI overview appeared, users clicked a traditional link only 8% of the time.
Only 8%. And what was it without the AI?
15%. So that's almost half the traffic gone. It just threatens the entire business model of content creators.
So if publishers can't monetize their work, they stop producing original high-quality content, which leads to this paradox where Google starves the web of the very information it needs to train its next AI models.
That is the existential question facing tech right now. They're innovating their way into an economic hole, and they haven't figured out how to fill it yet.
Moving from the battle for the internet to the battle for the financial world, let's talk about Coinbase. They're making a massive, really fast-paced effort to become the everything exchange.
They are moving at warp speed, you're right. Just days after Coinbase launched its own event contracts, which are basically prediction markets, they announced they're acquiring a startup called the Clearing Company.
And the deal closes next month. This sounds less like buying a product and more like buying a team. A classic Acquia hire.
That's exactly what it is. The Clearing Company is young, founded this year, and Coinbase Ventures was already an investor. They're buying the expertise.
And the CEO, Tony Gemiel.
Yes, a noted visionary product and growth leader. He's a veteran of rivals like Kalshi and Polymarket. Coinbase is absolutely prioritizing talent and speed here.
And the bigger vision is clear. They want to be way more than just crypto. They want to be the everything exchange, one platform for stocks, futures, and now these prediction markets.
It's an explicit challenge to traditional brokerages, which Coinbase is branding as old and stodgy.
But this ambition puts them right into a huge regulatory fight.
It does. And that's where the Clearing Company becomes so essential. That startup has applied to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, to become a derivatives clearing organization, or a DCO.
And if that's approved, why is that such a big deal?
Because it would be a complete game changer for legitimacy. They would become the first stablecoin native clearinghouse for prediction markets operating under a federal regulated framework.
Which gives Coinbase the regulatory shield they need against individual states.
Yes. Because they are already filing lawsuits against states like Michigan, Illinois, and Connecticut. They're arguing that their event contracts should be regulated federally by the CFTC, not by state-level sports betting laws.
So they're trying to legally define a whole new class of financial instrument.
They are. And you can see why. Prediction markets are just surging in popularity. Weekly notional volume is now topping $4 billion.
$4 billion. That is a staggering amount of money.
It's where the psychology of betting meets the structure of high-level financial trading. And Coinbase is trying to write the rule book for how it all operates in the U.S.
Wow, it really is the new frontier.
And Coinbase is determined to be the frontier town mayor.
Okay, our third and final story. It brings us back down to earth with some truly somber news.
Yeah, this one is tough. The video game community is in mourning today following the tragic death of the very influential developer Vince Zampella. He passed away on Sunday at the age of 55.
It was a devastating single-car accident north of Los Angeles. The report said it was on the Angeles Crest Highway.
That's right. His 2026 Ferrari 296 GTS, which is a very high-horsepower hybrid, reportedly slammed into a concrete barrier after exiting a tunnel.
He died at the scene, and a passenger died later at the hospital. Just awful.
It's an unimaginable loss. I mean, his legacy is just profound. Most people will know Zampella as the co-creator of the Call of Duty franchise. He was the CEO of Infinity Ward.
He really helped set the template for the modern first-person shooter.
Absolutely. But his influence didn't stop there. He co-founded Respawn Entertainment in 2010.
And that studio, which EA later acquired, gave us huge hits like Titanfall.
The enormously successful Apex Legends.
And the fan-favorite Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order.
And he was also the steady hand guiding the EA studio team behind the entire Battlefield franchise. He stabilized that series, made sure Battlefield 6 was a major success. His ability to launch and manage multiple huge franchises at once was just almost unmatched.
Yeah, EA's official statement really captured it. They said his influence was profound and far-reaching and helped fundamentally shape modern interactive entertainment.
It's a loss that's going to be felt very deeply this week by millions of players and the developers he inspired. A true visionary.
Our thoughts are certainly with his family, friends, and the teams he led at Respawn and EA. Before we wrap up, a quick thank you to our second sponsor, Skony.
Great shoes.
If you are looking to step up your game, Skony is the premium golf shoe store. Fantastic quality, and right now you can get 15% off your entire purchase when you use the promo code SNARFL at checkout. You can check out their full collection at scony.com.
So if we connect the dots on today's three major stories.
First, the AI hardware race is tighter than ever. Google's custom TPUs are creating serious competition for Nvidia, but it's forcing content publishers into an existential crisis.
Right. Then you've got Coinbase accelerating its path to becoming that everything exchange, using acquisitions and legal battles to make prediction markets the next big thing in regulated finance.
And finally, the gaming community lost a defining creative force, Vince Zampella, whose legacy runs deep across some of the most successful franchises of the last 2 decades.
The theme today really is transformation driven by necessity. I mean, Google has to risk its core business to survive the AI wave.
And Coinbase is forced to fight state by state to create the regulated future it wants.
Which brings us back to that huge unresolved tension, the one that defines the future of the web.
Yeah. If AI search summaries keep cutting publishers' traffic by half or more, what is the sustainable, ethical business model that replaces that revenue? If the content dies, the AI eventually starves. That's the question that dictates whether the web of tomorrow is a vibrant ecosystem or just a hollow shell. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.